And this is lecture number 12. So here I am starting module 2. This is all about module 2 and name of that one is probability distribution. So here lecture number 12 is just I will talk about random variable. If you understand random variable, that means you understand a random experiment and you try to associate each outcome with some number. So that is the intention of this lecture. An introduction of random variable. So name by itself, it suggests that the variable is not deterministic in nature, it is random in nature. And you may ask one question, then what is the source of that random? Then I will say that source of that random here in the random variable, it would be the outcome of a random experiment. So coming to outline of today's lecture, I would like to discuss first random variables. Then there would be various variety of random variables. Basically, we are talking about two special kind of random variable. One would be discrete random variable, another would be continuous random variable. So discrete random variable, in one class I had already mentioned that if you are having a set, then that set can be two kind of things. This set, either it can be a discrete set or it can be a continuous set. So discrete set can be, what is meaning of discrete set? That means you are able to put two element of that set in the sequential form. So that is meaning of discrete set. If you are taking any kind of set, then that set either falls in the category of discrete set or falls in the category of continuous set. So those things, just for the sake of simplicity, just recall again it. Another set we are calling it continuous set. So there are two class of set in general. Continuous set. Okay, so what is meaning of discrete set? I had already mentioned that discrete set, it happens to be countably, uh, you can say that it is a countable set, or it may be countably finite or infinite. In simple, you can simply say that it is a countable set. And what is meaning of countable set? I had already mentioned that a set is said to be countable if every element of that set can be written in the form of a sequence. So discrete set means it is a countable set. Every countable set happens to be a discrete set. And in short, you can say that if you are taking A is a discrete set, then you can say that element of A can be written as in the form of a sequence. So here, in case of discrete set, you are able to write this given set A as a sequence an, where n coming from natural number. So here, simply you are able to write A equal to this sequence. It is meaning of discrete set. That means it is a countable set. And if a set is continuous set, it is meaning it simply says that you can't write a given set in the form of sequence. You can't write in the form of a single sequence. It is not possible to write. So what does it mean? So in case of continuous set, that set would be either an interval or collection of interval kind of things. So if you take an interval, simply you can't write interval as a uh, in the form of sequence. So like example are like this way. These are example of a continuous set like 0 1, any interval. If you take any interval, whether it is open or closed, or even you take complete real number, set of real number, so it is again a continuous set. That means it is a continuous set. Another name you can say that uncountable set. You can't define a bijection of that continuous set with respect to set of natural number. That means simply bijection means you are unable to put element of that in the form of sequence. Uncountable set. Any question? I think it might be clear. Once in one class, I had already explained these things. An example of discrete set happens to be, you can say that set of natural number or set of integer. So all these are discrete set. Set of natural number, or even if you take any finite set, having finite number of elements. And set of real rational number is also countable set. Even if you take any finite set, like take a set containing the four elements, like 1 3 5 5 7. So this one is also a countable set. Why? Because it is having bijection with respect to set of natural number. And that means it is finite. First, it is a finite in nature. So that's why you can say that this finite set is a countable set, or simply you can say that it is a discrete set. So there are only two category of set. One is discrete set, another one is continuous set. Anyone is having any question, you can ask. Any doubt? Is it clear to everyone what is meaning of discrete set and what is meaning of continuous set? Anyone can respond. Okay, Sri Niketan, did you get it? What is meaning of discrete set and continuous set? Yes. If you understand, then just respond it. Okay, fine. So now I'm going forward to discuss about random variable. Second part of this lecture is talking about discrete random variable. That means uh, when you are having a random variable, so simply random variable we denote it by capital X, and it is actually random variable. It is named variable, but it is actually a function. It is a function from sample space to real number. It is like that. So when you are having sample space is a discrete set, then you can say that the corresponding random variable is a discrete random variable. If sample space is a continuous set, then you can say that your sample uh, that will leads to a continuous random variable and something more than that. Even actually range of this sequence, this function, we will denote it by gamma x. If gamma x is a discrete set, that means range of this function is a discrete set, then simply we can call this one is a x is a discrete random variable. If the range of x is a continuous set, then we can that time we will call this variable as a continuous random variable. So those kind of things I will discuss in detail. Coming to random variable, first I would like to introduce here motivation of random variable. So what is happening in most random experiment? We are interested in measurement or numeric attribute of the outcome. We are not interested in actual outcome. Like when we toss a coin thrice, then actual outcome happens like in multiple kind of things, head, or tail, or head kind of things. So we are actually not in interest of such kind of outcome. Actually, we try to associate some kind of number to those. So that's way it is very much interesting when you introduce some kind of number to outcome. So we need to define a new things. So a random variable is defined. So a new thing, that new concept random variable is coming, which associate a numeric value to given outcome of the at random experiment. So how we can define random variable? So a random variable is defined as a function that assign a measurement or numeric value to the outcome of the experiment. So this is the, so it is defining a numeric value to outcome, whatever outcome you will get from the random experiment. So through random variable you can introduce one numeric value. So that process we are calling it, that mapping or that rule we are calling it a random variable. For example, here I have taken, suppose you're tossing a coin n times. So if you're tossing or n tosses of a coin, so we may be interested in total number of heads. So how many heads we are getting? So total number of heads, it might be either zero in n number of tosses or n number of trial of tossing a coin. Then number of head might be zero, might be one, might be two, might be three, might be four. Likewise, it will go up to how much? It will go up to n. Okay, so what is happening here? We are just counting number of head or number of tails, something like that. We are not much interested in a specific order in which head occurs. Like if suppose we are having an output like this way, head, we never focus on that first head is whether this first head is coming from first trial or third trial. We never bother about that. We are not bothering about order of the any particular outcome in particular happening in that outcome. So we just worry about count. How many heads we observe? 3. Here we observe 3 heads. So that is the meaningful thing. So that's where random variable is very important. In a randomly selected web, another example is if you suppose you are selecting any web document randomly, then that time we might be interested in only in the length of the document. We never worry about how things are coming. Just we have to uh, focus on what is the length of the document. So those kind of things are coming. So here these are actually numeric value, number of heads or length of the document. These are numeric value. So in each of these example, a measurement or a numeric value assigns a numerical value to the outcome of the random experiment. So it is all about random variable. It is giving an idea through which you can assign a numeric value to outcome of the random experiment. It is all about that idea, all about motivation of going for random variable. So coming to further definition of random variable, since the random now one more things, the since the outcomes are random, the result of measurement will be also random. That means value of the uh, random variable would be random in nature, and hence you can say that it makes sense to talk about the probability distribution of probability of resulting numerical values. So numerical values of the random variable, it would be not certain always. Definitely those will be uncertain in nature. That means there would be some kind of randomness. So if there is some kind of randomness, we have to introduce probability to each value of the random variable. Then we introduce after once we are having idea of all those random variable and various different type of random variable, then we will introduce few methods for calculating probabilities of event involving a random variable. So we will introduce those kind of things. So you will see here that it is a little bit indirect method to calculate probability of value of random variable, specific value of probability. If you are trying to calculate probability of a specific value of a random variable, then it is actually indirect method. Anyhow, you have to go back to outcome. From there you need to calculate, but it might be little bit cumbersome, but if you go in practical, things would be very easy. Further, we present method for generating random variables. So if you are having a single random variable, we can from that single or from two random variable, we can make several random variables. So the function of random variable again happen to be a random variable. So there is a very certain specific or certain approach to define random variable. So here remember that we have to define random variable in a proper way, so that whenever some function would be defined over any random experiment, you have to identify that whether that function is a random variable or not. So one criteria is that random variable is always defined from sample space to real number. That means domain of a random variable would be always complete sample space. If someone is defining a function where you observe that domain of that variable happens to be a proper subset of sample space, then you can't claim that that would be a random variable. That simply give a failure. Uh, that function would be no more a random variable. So one identification, one testing criteria for identifying whether a given function is a random variable or not. How you can identify domain of that variable must be complete sample space. That is the criteria. So you can say that a random variable, it is a mapping from sample space to R, is a function that assign a real value x of omega to each outcome omega in the sample space of a random experiment. Geometrically, you can see it here. So this is the domain of the random variable, and here if you take any outcome or collection of outcome, and then those would be mapped to this real number. This is the real line. So if you take here few outcome here, this has been mapped to this at this point. If you take another outcome here, this has been mapped to here, like this way. If you take another outcome from here, it has been mapped to here. So this is the mapping process. So X has defined a mapping from sample space omega to r. Okay, I think definition of random variable might be clear to everyone. I'm going forward. I'm taking a few example here. So example is that suppose we are tossing a coin thrice, 3 times we are tossing a coin. So a coin is tossed 3 times, and the sequence of head and tail is noted down. Sequence of head and tail is noted down, and in that process we got the sample space. So this is the desired sample space of this random experiment, that is tossing a coin thrice, and the sample space contain 8 number of element. You can observe that each individual outcome you can observe here. It is already given here. Question is coming that we are defining a function x be the number of heads uh, in the 3 tosses. Okay, so can we say that is it a random variable? So first criteria you have to look into that whether domain of x is defined over complete sample space or not. That means every outcome of sample space has been mapped to some element, uh, some real number or not. So you know the definition of function. Always definition of function, it says that what is the definition of a function? It says that if you're defining a function from A to B, anyone can you recall that? What is the definition of function? Yes, I'm listening to you. Can you define a function? Lost lot of disturbance. Am I audible or not? Hello, Saran. Are you listening me? Okay. So I asked one question that could you like to define a function? What is definition of function? Okay, Chetan, would you like to answer? Chetan, are you listening me? Yeah, good morning. Are you listening me? Okay. I am asking that would you like to define function? Do you know the definition of function? It is not like that just mathematically remember it. I don't believe in rote learning kind of thing. It must come from experience or just understanding. Who would like to answer that question? That what is the definition of? Yes, carry on. Ah, yeah, I am listening. Yeah, it is a relation, but function is more than relation, more specific than relation. Go further. Okay, Vivek, would you like to define what is function? And it is one and one. It means that you are talking about bijective kind of one correspondence. It is not always possible to get one correspondence like y equal to x square. You want to observe here one correspondence. It is many one correspondence. 2 1. Y equal to x square. X square is a function or not? That one is a function. So according to Sarang definition, it might be wrong. There is no one correspondence. Yeah, all you are right. Now you are in right track. Every you should mention that like function. It is talking about the relation of every element or mapping of every element of domain to some element in the codomain. Every to some. It is going. It is defined like every to some. Every element of domain map to some element in codomain. That is the right definition of function. So that means you are talking about engagement of every element of the domain. You can't leave a single element in the domain. every element must be there mapped to some element in the codomain. So that might be many one depends upon what kind of scenario is there. It may be one, it may be many one. So there are especially two type of function happens. One is one, another one is many one. So that scenario x square is 2 1, that means many one. Or y equal to x, simply you are taking, then it is what, it is 1 1. Similarly, if you take sin x is again many one function. Sin x is many one. All trigonometrical function happens to be many one function. So there are various example of function. So you are talking about engagement of every element of uh, what in domain to some element in codomain. So that is the actual definition of function. So similarly, random variable is also a function. I mentioned that random variable is also function. So here we have to talk in the similar fashion. So here now your domain of the random variable happens to be very specific. It happens to be sample space. It is not like any arbitrary set. It is not any arbitrary set. It is a set which is coming from some probabilistic model that happens to be a sample space. That means happens to be collection of all possible outcomes. So due to that, the domain of sample space is very specific. That one is sample space, and you have to talk about engagement of every member of the sample space. So you can look that here. So when we are defining x with the number of heads in the three tosses, then it means x is defining a mapping or function from uh, omega to r. In such a way, we can observe that here this HHS 3 head, it has been mapped to 3 HST, it has been mapped to 2 STH, it has been mapped to 2 STHH, it has been mapped to STT, it has been mapped to 1 THT, it has been mapped to 1 TTH, it has been mapped to 1, and TTT, it has been mapped to. So in that process, you can claim that x, the number of heads, it happens to be a random variable. Why? Because every element of the sample space has been mapped to some element of the real one, some element in the real one. So that is the criteria. So that's why this x, the number of heads, it is a random variable for this random experiment. It is a random variable. You can say that further, it is a many one function. You can observe that 2 is having, if you try to see, 2 is having 3 pre-image, 1 is having 3 pre-image, but 0 is having 1 pre-image, 3 is having 1 pre-image. So that is the criteria. It is a many one function. But definitely it is a function. Random variable, it is a function. Okay. I'm taking one more example. So suppose same problem is same. I'm adding one more thing there. What is that? I'm adding a reward. So if suppose a player play $1.5 to the following game. Okay, a coin is tossed 3 times. The number of heads is counted. So one random variable that we are calling it x. X is first random variable. Number of heads. We know that we have already seen that it is a random variable. Now the player receive $1 if x equal to 2 is coming. If x equal random variable is taking value 2, then that time player will receive an reward of $1, and the same the player will receive a reward of $8 if random variable x is taking value 3. Then we are having otherwise nothing. If x is equal to 2, player will receive a reward $1. If x equal to 3, player will receive a reward of $8. Otherwise nothing. That means if x, what are the possible value of x? So possible value of x, it is talking number of heads. So possible value would be 0, 1, 2, 3, like this way. So if x equal to 2, reward is what? $1. If x equal to 3, reward is $8. So this is, so here apart from being one random variable x, we are having another random variable y. We are calling it y is the reward to the player. Okay, so that's where what are the possible value of y? you can see here. So y is again a function of it happens this y depends upon x. That's why you can say that y is one function of random variable x. So is it can we verify that this function of a random variable again happens to be a random variable? Yes. If we can able to verify that this new variable y, that function of random variable y, it happens to be a map from sample space omega to R. That means if domain of that one is a complete R, then we can say that y would be a random variable. That means every element of uh, omega under y has been mapped to some real number, then we can say that y would be a random variable. We try to look into here. So if our suppose our output is a triple head, that means x equal to 3. Triple head x, it is related with x equal to 3, and x equal to, if you x equal to 3, then how much reward we are getting? We are getting 8 reward. So $8 reward. So that's why y is taking value 8. If suppose we are getting double head tail, that means x is taking value 2, and if x equal to 2, what is the reward is $1. That means value of y is 1. Similarly, if we here STH, the value of y is 1, here value of y is 1, and here if you come to see here how many head you observe? 1. And for 1, uh, if x equal to 1, you won't get anything, there is no reward, that means 0. So that's why y is taking value 0. For this case also y is taking value 0. For this output y is taking value 0. Also for this output also y is taking value 0. So you can easily see that here the domain of y is complete omega. So that's way we can say that y is also a random variable. X is a random variable, y is also a random variable. So you have to look into domain. What is the domain of that respective variable? Then you can claim that that would be a random variable. So here now further one more thing you can observe that. So what is the range of this new random variable y? Range, it contains only three kind of real number, 0, 1 and 8. So also we have to find range of corresponding random variable as well, because it is a function. We domain would be by default, it would be sample space, so range we have to find it. Now further one more question you can ask: what is the source of randomness in the random variable? Because we are defining random variable as a function, then what is the source of a random variable? So for random variable, the function or rule that we are defining the function is not source of the random variable. Why? Function happens to be deterministic in nature, so that can't provide a source of uh, can't bring randomness in the random variable. So what is the source of random variable? Source of random variable happens to be outcome of the random experiment. So you are defining a random variable like this way. It is a mapping from omega to R. So what is happening? This mapping, this function is not giving, this rule is not going to provide randomness. So which one is providing? The outcome what you are taking from this omega, that is providing randomness in X. That is the source of randomness. So it might be clear to everyone. It is a very interesting kind of question. You can answer it. Now further here I have taken one example. A coin is tossed 3 times. The sequence of head is noted. The sample space is like this way. Okay. So here I will like to calculate probability of a specific value of random variable. So okay. So let x be the number of head in the in this experiment. Then x will take what are the possible value of x? It would be 0, 1, 2 and 3. That's why what is the range of this random variable? The range also we will denote it by omega x. That means it is saying that it is a random range of the random variable x. So what are the possible value in the this range? These are that means what are the possible value of random variable? These are 0, 1, 2, 3. Now here question is coming that find the probability of the event that x is taking value 2. So if you are we are asking find the value of x equal to 2. So there is no direct way. What we have to do? We have to invert back x equal to 2 to sample space. That means what are the outcome which has been mapped to 2. So you can easily look out. It is talking about x equal to 2 means it is talking about number of counts of head. How many heads are there? So what are the outcome which are of sample space which are having 2 heads? So these are the outcomes. So probability of x equal to 2, it will be equal to probability of this event. X equal to is associated with HHT, HTH, THH. So these three elements. So we have to calculate probability, this probability. And this probability individually, if you try to calculate, so if you take each outcome happens to be mutually exclusive to others. So easily just apply addition rule. Through that you can easily calculate this. What would be this probability? This probability would be 3 by 8. That one is very simple. So probability of x equal to 2, directly we don't have facility to calculate. In order to calculate probability of x equal to 2, we have to go back to outcome in the sample aspect, and from there we need to calculate probability of x equal to 2. That is coming 3 by 8. Later we will have a distribution approach. There directly we can calculate probability. There is no issue. So that time we will have enough or clear idea what kind of distribution we will have. So that time I will talk about later that. So here probability of x equal to 2 is coming 3 by 8. Now I am taking the second problem. Here same problem, that is reward problem. That means if you toss coin thrice and you will get reward $1 if x equal to 2, and you will get reward of $8 if x equal to 3. Otherwise you will get nothing. If you are getting x equal to 0, you will get nothing. If you are getting x equal to 1, you will get nothing. So that nothing is 0 reward. So y is a, so it is another random variable. It happens to be function of the first random variable x. Now here question is coming that find the probability of the event that y is taking value 8. So directly we can't calculate this probability of y equal to 8. So how we calculate? We have to revert back to outcome. So 8 is actually, it is associated with x equal to 3, and 3 is associated with which outcome? It is associated with outcome triple 8. This triple 8. So that's the probability of y equal to 8 is, it would be equal to probability of head, and it is a single event in case of tossing a coin thrice. So what would be probability this one? So the probability of this one would be just 1 by 8. So here also you can directly calculate probability of head by using multiplication rule as well. But at least here I assume that directly you can calculate probability would be 1 by 8. Any question? Are you getting this example or not? Are you getting? Did you understand this example? Sarang, did you understand this example? Okay, Satvik, are you listening me? Satvik, Chetan, are you listening me or not? Okay, did you get the meaning of that example, those examples? Okay, I am going forward. It is very much, it is a starting uh, lecture of this second module. So you all have to be very attentive. It is a way to calculate the probability of value of a specific value of a random variable. So you all need to understand how it is coming, because if you understand things later, if directly one distribution is coming, so you will get at least meaning, inner insight how these things are coming. It is very much essential. Okay, so I will talk about here a general rule to find probability of an event involving a specific value of random variable. So general technique I will talk about. So let the underlying random experiment has sample space omega and the event class tau. You can say that it is a tau. It is not j. Tau is an event class. What is the meaning of event class? It is a, so you perform a random experiment. Then suppose you are tossing a coin. Simple example I am taking it. So tossing in, if you toss a coin, what are the possible events? So there are only two possible events, head and tail. This one is sample space. Now then what is tau? Tau is actually collection of all subset of the sample space. So what are the collection of sample space? So the subset of sample space, first subset would be empty set 5, second subset would be just head, third subset would be tail, and fourth subset would be sample space itself. So there would be 4 members in this event class. So this one we are calling it event class. That means it is collection of all possible event. So event happen to be a subset of sample space. So you can say that it is a power set of, another way also you can say that it is a power set of omega, power set of. So PW I will write in short, power set of space. Event class happens to be power set of subset. Now question is coming back to find the probability of a subset of R, real number R. Okay, R happens to be codomain of the random variable as a function defined from omega to R. That's where R is a codomain. And suppose we are taking B as a sequential form, that B is a single number xk. So if we need to find what we have to do to find the probability of this subset B of R, we need to find the outcome in corresponding outcome in omega that has been mapped to B. That is, we have to find omega such that x of omega equal to xk in B, and that set we denote it by A. And you can say that it is inverse map of B. Another way of mapping, you can say that it is inverse image of B in omega. So if the event A occurs, then so event B also occurs. If A is happening, then definitely it will imply B is also happening. Conversely, also we can say that if event B occurs, then the value of x of omega that will is coming in B, it implies that omega is in A. So event A occurs. That means if B occurs, then A is also occurring. So vice versa. It is a by implication kind of notation. That's way. If you are willing to calculate probability of B, then probability of B is simply what? Probability of A. A happens to be a subset of omega. That means it is some collection of outcome. And B is what? These are the value of random variable, or simply you can say that these are the numeric value which are images of A. Mathematically, you can see that like this way. It is, you perform a random experiment, and this is the this square is a sample space. Now in sample space, you have taken a subset of that sample space that we are calling it A, and this subset, if you apply a random variable as a definition function approach, that means as a mapping from omega to R, then this subset has been mapped to this real number, this subset of real number. It is mapping kind of thing. Okay, so this is the visualization of how to calculate probability of event in R. So this is the criteria of value of how to calculate probability of value of a random variable. So now coming to another part of today's lecture, that we are calling it discrete random variable and probability mass function. So what is discrete random variable? So I had already told enough about that. Discrete random variable. So a discrete random variable, it is defined as a random variable that assumes value from a countable set. That means when you are defining a random variable from sample space omega to R, then we come across to see omega x. This denotes range of x, this function x. If this range it is a countable set, then simply we can say that the corresponding random variable is a discrete random variable. And once we come to see that range of this random variable is a countable set, and we know that every countable set can be written, element of that can be written in the form of a sequence. So that's where this countable set sigma x, it has been written in the form of sequence. x1, x2, x3. There is a proper ordering. So once we are having a countable set, you can always express that set in the form of sequence, in a single sequence. So that's where it is. There is a sequence we are able to write. So that's why this random variable would be a discrete random variable. So here we are interested in finding the probability of event involving a discrete random variable x. Since the sample space, now you can say that omega is a sample space, then corresponding from real number perspective omega x also you can say that it would be also a sample space kind of a structure, because it is a image of sample space. So you can in a very loose way you can talk about omega x is also talking about sample space. Now if omega x, actually it is a range of random variable. If omega x is a discrete, then simply we can say that x would be a discrete random variable. And we only need to obtain the, in this case, if it is a discrete random variable, we need to obtain the probability of the event ak. That means image of xk, image of xk in the sample space, that we denote it by xk in the given random process. So what is happening? So I will give one interesting idea is that this AK defining a partition of the sample space, and the probability of all events involving X can be found from the probabilities of all AKs as a partition of the given sample space, and that prior probability during which what I had already explained, and hence the probability mass function will come into picture for random variable, and it would be defined like this way. So if you are taking any specific value of the random variable X, then this probability mass function Px of small x, it can be defined as a probability that X is taking value X, and X is a real value, real number. So we have to find pre-image of X. So pre-image of X is what? Omega. So if you are willing to find probability of X equal to X, so find the probability of all the pre-images of X which has been mapped to X from the omega. So these are the collection of images, pre-images which has been mapped to X. So if you willing to find probability of X, then simply find this probability, and this probability is equal to probability. And this in that process we are getting a function. So this function p of x, we are calling it probability mass function. And if you ask what is the domain of this probability mass function, this p is a small p. Remember that here it is a small p. It is a function from actually real number to 0 1. Range of this function, probability mass function, would be always 0 1. So it is already 45 minutes. Regarding attendance, put your attendance there in the comment box. And next thing I will discuss next week. And tomorrow it is your tutorial class. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I am going to wind up today's lecture.